こんにちは、香川博です。iTEP ジャパンの社長です。本書くときは山久瀬洋二という名前を使ってますけどね、今ずっとですね、世界中を席巻しているそのコロナウイルスについてのね、本当に突撃インタビュー、これ私のネットワークを使って世界中の私の知り合いと連絡取ってるんですよね。フィリピン、台湾やりましたけど、今回はね、シアトルです。シアトルはね、アメリカのいわゆるその先端企業の中心地です。マイクロソフトがある。本社があります。アマゾンの本社があります。スターバックスも本社を置いてるし、ボーイングもあります。ところがこのボーイングがですね、これから2週間、完全に生産をストップして、社員はもう家にいなさいということになっています。そんな緊張感の起きた中で、特にコロナウイルスが本当に最初にアメリカで最初に見つかって死者も出た。そのすぐそばに住んでいる私の友人がいます。彼はハイテク関係のすごいね、テクニシャンなんですけども、彼にインタビューをしてみました。ぜひ聞いてください。マイケル・ノバックという人です。Hey, Michael.
Good afternoon, Hiroshi.
Well, good morning still here, but anyway, thank you very much for attending us. Now, you are living around Seattle, right?
Yes, I'm living about a 20-minute drive north of Seattle.
Yeah, I know you are a tech guy. And also there are a lot of concentration of the technology company over there. Of course, Microsoft and everywhere. How do you think about the current coronavirus environment upon the technology area? Particularly, it's a lot of delay of producing it, or are there any way they are working on it?
Well, this is a really good question. I think of the Seattle area, the Pacific Northwest, as really maybe being the high spot of STEM-based industry in the United States. There are several companies. Of course, you mentioned Microsoft. Microsoft is very strong in software, but they're also very strong in gaming and virtual reality, augmented reality. So that's Microsoft. Then, of course, you have Amazon.
Of course.
And Amazon is very strong, not only in online retail and book publishing, but they're also very strong like in robotics.
Sure.
And of course, Mr. Bezos has his own rocket company.
Okay.
So all of those are up here. And then of course, the largest manufacturing company in the United States is Boeing. And Boeing is also up here.
I see.
So Boeing in defense, aerospace, aeronautics. And then of course you have like the supporting organizations and also the Gates Foundation.
Sure.
With doing a lot of work in like viruses and the advancement of certain medicines.
That means the Bill Gates Special Organization, a non-profit.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. Then you have companies like Starbucks that are based up here,
But they are working on the coronavirus issue right now, seriously?
Well, the very first case of the virus occurred about 10 miles north of where I live.
Wow.
In Snohomish County.
Which means that is the starting point of the coronavirus epidemic over there in the United States.
In the United States, the very first case in the United States, 10 miles north of me.
Wow.
The very first death in the United States was maybe 20 miles south of me.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry.
And then the first community virus test case, community virus means they don't know how he got it. He didn't travel anywhere, all of a sudden he has this virus. That happened maybe a bicycle ride from where I live.
I see. Oh.
So I'm I live right in the middle of all of these.
And also, I heard that your family is working for the elderly person.
Yes, my wife works for one of the largest senior care facilities in the United States.
Oh.
And so she is, when she goes to work, the level of cleanliness there is very strong.
Would you please tell me what kind of specific request from that organizations, including a family regulation?
Sure. Well, so this particular facility has residents, about 40 residents, and they all are a minimum of 85 years old or older.
Mhm.
Okay? And for example, right now, no visitors.
No visitors.
And also everyone that comes in has their temperature taken.
Of course.
Logged.
Mhm.
And the people that work there, have a high level of focus on making sure that they protect themselves. The residents now are usually they would come to a dining room for dinner, but now they're all being brought. Dinner is being brought to them and lunch in their room.
Oh, and you said that even I cannot see you because of that regulation.
Yes, there was an issue about banning or restricting people from countries, and so one of the issues was at the time a few weeks ago. Of course, China, Wuhan was the big focus, and so there were restrictions from people coming from. And, in the United States, a lot of Americans tend to think of Asia from all like one big place. They don't make a distinction between Koreans and Nihonji.
They don't understand that, right?
No, they don't. They don't. And so there were travel restrictions for quarantine coming into the States. Look, for example, if you, Hiroshi, you and I have known each other for 30 years, long time, and I would love if you would stay with me, when you. But if you were to do that, I would need to be quarantined from my wife for her to go to where she works.
That's problem.
Yeah, because they have to be very protective of people that are that old.
And now, city itself, it's quite silent because of coronavirus. Nobody is going out.
No, the state is in lockdown right now. The governor of Washington issued a lockdown, which means all non-essential work is canceled. So no sports activity, no concerts, schools. I was working with the University of Washington with 60,000 students. All of the education is now online. All of the students are all home now.
Oh, wow. And then what is the penalty?
What is the lethality, you mean?
Penalty if people break the law.
I think it depends on the degree. For example, if you are out and you are not doing essential services, let's say you're at the park, with friends, and you have 30 people come together for a reunion of some sort, or church. All the churches are canceled.
Oh, okay.
But if you got together with 20 friends, you might have a misdemeanor and a fine.
Oh, how much?
I do not know. Because
Okay, don't try that.
I knew that.
I see. Well, but it's go ahead.
I was going to say my wife has a letter in case we are pulled over by the sheriff that confirms that she is in an essential duty role, because these senior citizens need to be taken care of, and so if she can't take care of them, they have a problem.
I see.
So she is in the area of essential services.
That's tough.
She's an exception.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you run a bar, then that a bar is not essential.
Well, now last question is, you mentioned that this is a high-tech center. Then there are a lot of kind of research about it. Do you think like Bill Gates organization making a kind of effort to create a kind of antivirus, some kind of solution?
Yeah, there is a lot of work occurring right now throughout the state. and it's countrywide, but really in Washington State, there's a lot of work on protective equipment, on making sure that there is adequate supply. Right now, the big shortage is ventilators. And so there are a lot of companies looking at ventilation. There is, of course, the Chinese documented the DNA structure of the virus. And so I'm aware of companies that are working on attacking that DNA and producing antivirus vaccines against that particular virus.
So your area is one of the center to create that solution.
Yes, it is.
That's good.
Yes,
That's
it is.
good. Okay, Michael, now already time is running up, but do you have any message to Japanese, like don't go out or whatever? Now Tokyo is start growing it again.
I would say the UK, the famous phrase from the UK, I think that came out of World War II was be calm and carry on, or you have nothing to fear but fear itself. There's a tendency to part of you becomes very emotionally fearful. And I think it's important to be aware of the situation, but also try and maintain a sense of calmness as much as possible.
You are exactly right. I agree with you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that's part of your brain is frightened. The other part is saying you're going to be okay. So there's that.
I got it. Okay, Michael, thank you so much, and stay healthy. And you will stay at home, right?
Yes. With the exception of taking my wife to work and picking her up, and occasionally going to the grocery store, I'm home all the time.
Grocery store, everything can be available?
Pretty much.
Oh, good.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty
All right.
much.
Okay, Michael, talk to you later. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you very much.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
さあ、いかがでしたか？マイケル・ノバックね、私の古い友人だし、もうずっとね、コンピューターのテクノロジーとかインターネットですとか関係のね、そういうものを追っかけてる、アメリカのもうハイテクのことはいろんなことを知ってる人なんですよね。で、この人が言ってましたけどね、彼の奥さんはね、いわゆるその老人ホームね、デイケアセンターとかそういうところに勤めてらっしゃるんだけど、やっぱりすごいですよね。ただね、彼女が気をつけるというだけではなくて、彼女の家族であるマイケルにもね、ちゃんとお達しが来て、外国から来る人と会ってはいけないというような厳しいね、制限ですよね。だから私も彼のうちに行けないんですよ、今。それぐらい、緊張感が走ってます。そして、最初に冒頭でお話ししましたようにね、ボーイングもとうとうね、2週間完全にオペレーションをね、シャットダウン。つまりね、工場が2週間止まっちゃうんですよ。これって大変なことなんですね。特にああいうね、自動車とか飛行機とかを作ってるとか2週間シャットダウンするって大変なことなんです。そして、かつ、ビル・ゲイツが大財団を作ってますね。マイクロソフトの本社がありますからね。そういうところでは新しいウイルスに対するどうやって攻撃するかとか、どうやって身を守るかっていう新しいテクノロジー、または医学的なソリューションを模索しているということなんです。一つ覚えておいてくださいね。アメリカではそうやってね、成功した企業はね、お金をドネーションしてそういうオーガナイゼーションを作るんですよね。でそういうオーガナイゼーションでこそね、こういうね、新しい病気だとか、そういうことに対するソリューションを提供するいろんな研究をやってるんです。こういうアメリカの社会も見えてきました。非常にね、内容のあるインタビューだったなと思います。ぜひ参考にしてください。